let's just jump right into the news. So over the last few days, the internet has been up in arms because of the rumor of Disney planning on shutting down all of Marvel Comics. Now, probably this far into the video, you're like, what? That was a thing? It was a thing for like 2 minutes, and you may have seen the headlines, and that's why I want to talk about it, just to clear this up, because a big part of the problem seems to be that people just read headlines, and they don't look into the actual news article to realize, no, Marvel's not getting shut down. So there is a panel happening at South by Southwest where some Marvel execs will be talking about from the comics to the big screen. And then there was a website that kind of took that analogy and was like, oh, this is them convincing Disney that they need to keep on making comics. And then the world saw that and was like, oh, geez, Disney's shutting down Marvel Comics? I need to revolt. Now, there's a lot of interesting parts about this discussion, but let's get into the truth of it. As of right now, many people from Marvel have come back to say that, no, we're still making comics. In fact, they've got a really big cross-universe story arc coming up. That's going to be like a 6-issue run, including a bunch of spin-off comics. So, like, they're still doing what they do. Now, how many people are buying comics, that's another story, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. But the fact that there was a speculation that was kind of taken, turned into a clickbaity article, and then the internet just ran with it, is, just kind of a problem with what we have between, like, Reddit news stories, or just clickbait, or even The Onion. As much as I find The Onion funny, there's a lot of people that just believe bad headlines, and you can't do that, because there's a lot of dumb people that just read headlines. So stop just reading headlines, actually click on the article and watch what happens. For example, I used a clickbaity title just to get you to watch this video because it's YouTube and it's the only way we can survive. But never fear, the comics aren't going away. But there is a different side of the story that I think that we need to focus on, and it is the fact that Disney has shut down other things that they've invested in because it wasn't profitable. For example, Maker Studio. They cut thousands of creators, bringing it just down to 300, turning it into their little Disney streaming service thing, kind of with YouTubers. And it made it like a family-friendly place because it just wasn't as profitable as they thought it was. Same thing with when they were like, hey, we aren't going to be making in-studio video games anymore. We're just going to hire other people, which over the last few months, we actually found out that Disney was very happy with EA's doings with Star Wars, because at the end of the day, it made money, and that's the only thing that matters in a corporate world. Sorry guys, as the internet, we can complain about whatever we want and as loud as we want, but at the end of the day, if it's making money, there's no change in it. But at the same time, we kind of do need to look at Marvel Comics and realize that for a very long time, there's just been some really big struggles with the sales of comics. And this is coming from comic book store owners. This has been coming from the industry. There's also some weird decisions with sometimes just cutting some storylines out of nowhere. For example, Guardians of the Galaxy comes to mind. I was a big fan of Gwenpool and was sad to see that one go. But at the end of the day, DC's having the same problems with comics. And yes, Disney sees Marvel as a $1 billion money-making machine, because it is, with the movies. So one could imagine that if Disney is pretty, not easy, but like Disney's very free with, cutting things that aren't making money, we should be a little afraid of the Marvel comics, because at the same time, there's a lot of new Marvel fans that over the last 10 years have really learned to love these characters. Now, they aren't going to read the comics, they just love the movies, and they love the TV shows, and they're like, oh, no, I'm enough of a fan, I get it now. And a very small percentage of them are actually picking up comics as a first-time reader. And that could lead to a problem, because movies and TV shows could be Marvel's new medium to tell these new stories and to use this as their, a storytelling machine. They won't need the comics to base, because first of all, there's 40, 50 years of comics that they can just build these stories off of. There's hundreds and thousands of characters where it's like, all right, there's plenty enough to choose from to make movies for the next 100 years. So what really is important that I think we need to take away from this is that even though Disney isn't closing Marvel Comics, it could happen. We live in a world where that actually could happen. So, and the people that cry out and they're like, no, you can't do this, get split into two different groups. The first group are the ones that actually go out to comic book stores and that small percentage of people that actually are reading comics. And then the other group of people are the ones that are like, hey, you just can't do that. Like, you can't do that. But they're also the ones that aren't going out to buying comics. So just know that Disney has shut down big things before because it wasn't profitable in the long run. When we had Disney shutting down their in-house video game stuff was on the cusp of what was that, Disney Infinity, where the toys were at the top sales all over the place. This was a big thing in the market, and they're like, nah, this isn't going to make sense long run. We're going to cut it. So like, they've done this in the past. So we should be ready for this to happen for Marvel Comics. Do I think that it's going to happen? I don't think so, because at the same time, whatever money that they're losing to make all these comics, they are definitely making it back in the movies, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't. So if we want to be safe, here's how we fix it. Go out and buy comics. You don't even have to go to a game store. You can go on like Comixology or there's other Marvel Unlimited. There are ways to be able to read comics and support the medium and without it going away, because at the end of the day, it could happen. It's not happening right now, but that doesn't mean that it might not happen in the future, because anything can happen. That's one of the things that could happen. So if you want to support, go and read some comics, because that's just, they're great stories. Why would you not want to read comics? If you want to know where to start reading comics, let me know what characters you want to know about, and maybe I'll turn that into a series where I'm like, hey, Captain Marvel's coming out. These are the 5 comics that you need to read to get up to speed and become a better fan. I would love to do that for you. Just so let me know. Let's talk about it in the comments below. So that is what has been going on over the last few days with the rumor that Disney was going to shut down Marvel Comics, and my take on the fact that it could happen. Let's hope that it doesn't, though, and we can, instead of just hoping, let's put $3 where our money is, or put our money where our mouth is. Our $3 to where our mouth is. Buy comics is what I'm saying. Go read comics, buy comics, they're a great thing. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this rant. If you didn't know about the Marvel news and then you got the little tidbit on what's actually going on, I hope that I was able to make your day a little bit more informative. Again, if you'd like to, please hit that subscribe button or sign up for notifications so you know when I actually put out these videos. I'm done. This video is just too long now. I'm just ranting. I gotta go play video games because that's what I want to do. So till the next time, guys, I'll see you later.